everybody. I'm so happy to be back here with beautiful soul-led business owners that are here to share with us, to share with you how they did it, how they came about to be soul-led business owners. You know, in this 3D life that we live in on Earth, this is where we live, right? I mean, this is where I live, but where we are, we have to do business in a certain way. We listen to rules. We have to go like regulations, and people are telling us, do this, do that. You should do this, you should do that. I want to tell you something today. You do not have to follow that. What we do have to do is adapt from our soul, from our heart, from our desires, from our purpose, and adapt to the 3D so that we are aligned in our business and we can expand and bring back everything that we deserve, because everybody deserves to have a soul-led business. Everybody deserves to have a soul-led life. And this is why I do these conversations. This is why I bring those panels together, and beautiful ladies that I have today that I'm going to invite to present themselves. But everybody here went through a life. When you hear their stories, you're going to know everybody went through a life that you're like, wow, and you're making it. We are making it, guys. And if you're listening today, this is for you to know that you can also make it. Everybody can make it. And if anybody resonates with you, you have the handles in the corner. So note them down and connect with the panelists. Everybody is ready to talk to you today. So today I would like to invite you to present yourself. And we're going to start. I have you like kind of in sequence on my screen here. We're going to start with Urvi. You can just present who you are, what you do.
Yeah, sure. My name is Urvi Shah. I'm a mindfulness coach and spiritual healer for moms. So I work with women that are going through their motherhood journey from moment of conception to all the way to postpartum.
Beautiful. Khrey, we'll go to you next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Khrey Musni, and I'm a certified life coach, a Reiki master, an EFT practitioner, and also a clinical certified hypnotherapist. So I ground restless entrepreneurs or restless souls in using different holistic modalities and trance modalities in helping them really connect with their authentic essence, inner peace, and of course, being in tune with oneness with their being.
Yeah, oneness. I love oneness. One of my favorite topics to talk about. Tilly, your turn now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tilly Fine. I am a stress and anxiety coach. I deal primarily with nervous system regulation and somatic therapies. So healing through our body and working with creating safety within our body. And only through that safety can you actually heal. And so I'm also a certified conscious parent coach. So I love what you do, Urvi, too. But my clientele is more working parents that have a career and that are working. So thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here. And the Shelby St. Clair. I love your whole thing. It feels melodic to say it all together.
Oh, thank you. Hello, hello. I am Shelby St. Clair. I am a spiritual business mentor, and I help women with embodiment, really uncovering their purpose, stepping into soul alignment, and bringing the mind, the body, and the soul into business by way of a lot of different healing modalities. The prime purpose of what I do is to revolutionize the way that women build businesses, so that they can scale their business to 10, 20, 30K and beyond months consistently with ease and flow, stepping out of that belief that we have to hustle and grind and give away parts of our life just to claim the success that is our birthright. And along the way, we are breaking all the chains of generational trauma so that our just essence is who we were sent here to be, and that we get to live and thrive in that so juicefully.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I want to link onto that. I want to tell you guys a story. I think it was about 3 years ago. I made a good amount of money in a month that I never thought I was going to be able to make. And in that month, I crashed because I didn't have the capacity. It's 4 years ago. I didn't have the capacity to hold that energy. I was able to hold the money, but I didn't have the energetic capacity. And this is when I discovered somatic, which Shelby, you do that, right? Like all of you guys totally work with the nervous system. And we're going to start with Shelby with the first question, because I was reading everybody's resume and I'm like, this is going to be an amazing, amazing panel, because everybody here works with the nervous system. Everybody here works with techniques that are helping you ground and sustain the wisdom that you're getting from whatever you're living right now. And my first question is, when you embarked on your soulpreneur journey, how did you ensure your business practices were aligned with your spiritual values? And what were some of the significant challenges you had to overcome?
So prior to me stepping into the space of doing what I do now in 2017, I had multiple businesses that weren't focused on my soul's purpose and that weren't tapped into the energetic strategy and that were really misaligned, even though they bred and created success in my life and led me to where I am now. Once I stepped into this place of truly honoring and discovering my purpose and understanding why I was placed on this earth, just by way of the life and the journey that I have been through, I was able to bring all of the healing that I had done into the work that I do, helping women with business. I saw so often how life would take over, right? You have something happen in your life and then you say, okay, this is all that I can focus on. I have to figure this out. And in that, you let go of all of your dreams, all of your desires, and all of those things that you set forth to attain, and the reason why you started your business in the first place. And I saw that happening so much, and I had to look inward at myself and question, what parts of me along my journey did I allow things to come in and take over and distract me and pull me away from my greatest desires? And when I allowed myself to tap into self and really connect to my truth and my authenticity and recognize and realize that in those moments, I was scared. I was terrified that if I didn't focus on whatever it was that was going on in my life, everything would unravel. But what really unraveled when I displaced my dreams? My business unraveled, right? The very thing that actually lit me up then kind of crushed and crumbled, and I had to pick up all the pieces and restart again. And so I really brought in all of my practices of just taking care of self and taking time each and every morning to center in, to ground in, what does Shelby need before anything else, before everybody else, before I hop on the computer, before my kids wake up in the morning, like what does Shelby need and how does she ground in herself and her energy? Because if I'm pouring into self from the moment that I wake up, everything else then feels really easy breezy and life happens. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Thanks for this pause for this moment. And we're going to figure this out really quick. And we're going to get right back onto the path of what we woke up with the intention to do today. And so that's just what I really bring in, is like that groundedness and understanding and knowing that like my dreams landed on my heart for a reason and they are not worth giving up on because anything else is happening in life.
Yeah, definitely not worth giving up on. I love that. I love that. How about you, Tilly?
Well, I had it's sort of similar maybe to Shelby. I was working in corporate America for a long time and thinking that I was very successful on paper in that environment. I had a very good title, a good salary, I had a good position, I was working in entertainment. It was an exciting role. And then with the birth of my daughter, I started to you know, you look at things differently when you have kids. And I remember seeing an episode on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday with Dr. Shafali, and I just looked at it and I said, oh my God, I am completely screwing up my daughter's life. And so with that started my deep delving into all these courses and trainings around how to be conscious and how to, you know, listen to your body and how to learn somatic practices. And when I first did it, I was just doing it for myself. I was just doing it to educate myself so that I could change myself and in that sense, help my daughter. I had no intention of making this a career, but because once I started delving into the work, I was so immense. I just loved it. I just love it so much. I love the studying. I love the work. I love everything about it so much. That's when I realized, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so with that, I turned all my studies about myself into a business and then transitioned out of corporate into being a coach. And so that's where I am now.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was reading in your bio that like you went from something that you really, really loved, but you noticed that it wasn't serving everybody in your circle. And then you decided to study, to align yourself, and then retarget to not only you love, but that you can help rise and raise everybody with you.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, you think on paper, I followed everything you're supposed to do. You know, you graduate, you go to college, you get a good job, you live in the right zip code, you drive a nice car. I followed that whole process and then realized my daughter really came in and changed that whole thing. And I was like, okay, this is not for me.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you for realigning. I'm happy that you found yourself here.
Thank you.
Khrey, how about you?
I feel like it's so similar and very parallel in terms of different versions of everyone in here. From my experience, it's really when I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And with that is like my body is completely dysregulated. My mind is just completely running 10 miles per hour every single day, agitated and disconnected. And it was because growing up, I was conditioned to know one specific way, what success looks like culturally, how I was raised in a household that nursing, say for example, is just one career that would set you to specific stability, success, until I was diagnosed and I realized that, well, like something inside me that I have been ignoring for so long or have been suppressing. And at that time, I didn't know what emotion is like, how is my trauma being processed growing up. And throughout that, I was doing and just constantly going by what it's supposed to be and how it looks like for other people for me. So that was my spiritual bottom. And after that, it was a continuous self-discovery, self-love, self-healing process where I was also raised in a very highly religious household. And all of these things I was started to peel off, unlayer, untether parts of me that are inauthentic throughout my journey in healing myself, mind, body, and soul. Until, like how Tilly has said, it wasn't even a plan to be a business. It was this urge of what if I could help more people other than me? It was really meant to just soulfully fill my cup throughout the journey until I met specific mentors, teachers, all of these modalities that I've learned throughout the process in really connecting to my authentic core. And here I am helping multiple people, and there's such deep sense of fulfillment in seeing people when they tap into their authentic self that it's just so magnetic, and you can see how they feel so at peace and have that strong sense of self in moving through the ebbs and flow of life. So I really appreciate that, how I lived through the process of healing and also understanding that, it's going to be imperfect until you finally accept those parts of you that you have rejected throughout the years of living by the societal or however that looks like for you. it feels so liberating, and that deep sense of inner peace is harnessed easily in the way that you live your life authentically. So yeah, super grateful. And now I'm here being immersed with different people and also souls who have the same vision and values that I live by. So I'm really, really grateful for that.
It's beautiful when you can actually teach what you've learned, because you can fill the gap easier for your clients. So yeah, thank you for that. How about you, Urvi?
Yeah, so my story is similar to everyone. I actually started my journey similar to Tilly in corporate. And so I never intended on jumping into doing my own business. That in itself also a spiritual business. And so for me, growing up, I always knew I had spiritual gifts, psychic abilities, and I never knew what to do with it. I never really talked about it because I always felt like other people would judge me, and like I would be like the weird one out of the group. And like for me, fitting in was very important. When I was growing up, I was the only Indian in my community. And so like stepping out of like anything else was like a very big deal. And like I was bullied growing up and everything. So like I definitely was not going to share anything. And so my journey was always about like, what is everybody else doing and how do I fit into society? And so, you know, I went to college, I got my master's, I got a really good job in consulting. I was doing great. I mean, I was thriving. But I always felt empty from inside. Like I always felt like something is missing. Like this is not the life that I came to live. And because I was always so spiritually connected through mindfulness practices like breath work, meditation, I would always have these visions and I would always have these like downloads that would come to me. And I didn't really know what to do with it. And I remember this specific experience of when I was in Costa Rica. Um, and I did this meditation, and it was kind of like spirit was just like, you're to be a coach. You're supposed to serve and help others. But I still was on this journey of like, okay, like I'll just be a life coach. Like I'm not gonna like put it out there like I'm into spirituality or anything like that. And for me, it unraveled into accepting who I am and working through identifying who I am. So my business has transformed as I've transformed on my spiritual journey. And I have accepted where I am at. When I started my business, it was in 2020, right when the COVID shutdown happened in America. And I remember at that time, I was like, man, now I need to like really do everything on social media. And I'm not a social media person per se, in terms of like going on video and like posting. And like, I didn't know how to do all of that stuff. And so I had to learn those techniques. I had to get through like my own anxiety. I was going through my own fertility journey at that time. And so as I was expanding to bring in baby, but also expand my business, it's like everything just beautifully unraveled and, you know, kind of transpired the way that they need to, where now it's more like I serve myself first and I like check in with myself first of like, how do I feel today? Like what feels right? Like where is my energy and how do I want to serve the people that are coming to me?
So if you're listening today, if you've heard everybody serves themselves first, and raise your hand if you feel selfish doing that. No. So if you're out there listening and you're wondering who needs to be served first, yourself, because it's in, out, and not out, in. And when we're in business, there is something that comes on all levels of our business. Every level has that, and it is when we go into self-doubt. We go into that phase many, many times, and we're gonna keep on going with you, Urvi, actually. So the question is, in the beginning, or even now, if you're in your growth stage, how do you deal with the inevitable self-doubt and setbacks? What support system or strategies do you rely on to keep moving forward?
Yeah, this is a big one. I feel like for me, my self-doubt not only comes in my business, but also when I'm doing healing modalities or readings for my clients, right? There's this part of me that's like, you don't really know like what, especially when I do a reading, like, and I know that it's true, but then it's like this doubt comes in me, like, no, that's not true. Like, you shouldn't say that. Like, and what has helped me is really connecting with my intuition and trusting it. Trusting my intuition has helped me build trust with myself, but then also with the universe. And so I'm at a much better place now. In the beginning, I wasn't. I had so much self-doubt. I had imposter syndrome. I was constantly comparing my business to other people, especially because since I started during COVID, everything was online. And so for me, it was like, okay, what is this coach doing? How is this coach doing it? Can I like model what they're doing? Right. And I didn't have at that time, I guess in my head, I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to hire a business coach or business mentor. Like none of that stuff came to me. And so I was just trying to watch and do, sort of see and do. And that actually led me down this whole spiral of like imposter syndrome. I don't really know what I'm doing. I shouldn't even be out here. I'm not going to make any money in my business. And I think I had to peel back and really work with my nervous system and trusting myself, and some strategies that really work, like EFT tapping, meditation, and just, breath work.
Yeah, breathing. I always say that breathing is underrated. And I told you a little bit before, the somatic is also very much underrated. And talking about somatic, we're going to go to you, Tilly.
So self-doubt, I feel like it's going to pop up, for at least for me, no matter how experienced you get or where you are in your career or your life, self-doubt will always pop up at some point in some way. And for me, I went through the whole thing like Urvi with the imposter syndrome, but I've learned to recognize that it's part of being human is to have self-doubt at different phases in your life, and not to try to get rid of it or lose it or push it away, but more to honor that part of it. So what I do is I find where, through doing this for so long, I can find where the self-doubt is living in my body, in the space of my body, and then recognize that part of my body and understand that it's only a part of me. It is not who I am. It's just a part of me. And so honoring that that is a part of me, but that I don't have to be consumed by that part. So when something comes up and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, or I shouldn't have maybe said that, or maybe I shouldn't say this, I have to honor that that is a part of me that is having that self-doubt, and it's not all of me. And to be able to, we're all made up of many different parts. So if you can honor that as a part of you and accept that that's who you are in that part, you can move over, you can go to the other parts of you. So you can come out of it. And when you accept these parts of you that are not in alignment in that moment, they tend to dissipate on their own, because you're honoring who they are. You're not trying to shove them under the, push them away. You're honoring that this is a process for you. This is who you are. And it's not all of you, doesn't consume all of you. It is just one part of who you are. And when I look at my self-doubt or my imposter syndrome, when it sometimes creeps up in that sense, I find it, I can move past it so much more easily and help my clients do the same instead of pushing it all away. Rather honor it, that is just a part of who you are. It's not all of you.
Yeah, so if you're listening today, you just got two beautiful tips: breathe and honor. We're gonna go to Khrey now.
Yeah, like I mentioned, when I started the business, it wasn't really with intention to where it is right now. It was really to ask myself, what is this for? What is my why going into helping and being in service with people? In the beginning, it was really scary and fearful because it's completely outside the box or the norm that I was used to. Being in a 9-to-5 job, going into entrepreneurship is completely it's so expensive. It's just so, wow, you can do anything you want. So at that point, the first thing that would always come to my mind is, I'm so scared that what people will think about me. How will they think of this Reiki? What is Reiki? It's a woo-woo thing. And the way that I saw the transformation with people that I helped in the beginning, it's like I would cry every day and I would say this, that I could die the next day because I helped this person to feel inner peace. And in that moment, I always root and ground myself to my whys. And the why is, what if another person could feel this again? What if another person could feel love like this again? And so I bring into anyone who's starting their journey, if self-doubt creeps in, I would always bring into two practical things. Is this thought coming from a place of fear, or is it coming from a place of love? I love how the book A Conversation with God have said this: love breeds tolerance. And if you tune into love, then all of the things that you're going to feel is in alignment to a valuable energy. And you can sense that when you're in tune with love, how does that feel like in your body? How does that breathe inside you? What do you tolerate when you're feeling in tune with love? And then when you're in fear, of course, self-doubt. I always call fear as false evidence appearing real, because you're in completely uncomfortable space. So fear of doubting yourself, being imposters, or just showing up because it's uncomfortable. So it's natural. And having fear is okay. I always invite my clients to be curious. What does that mean for you? What does this false evidence coming up, and what does this teach you? What is this from the past that's telling you to witness it and acknowledge it? And what do you need to really bring upon yourself right now to hear, to feel, to love, to just make sense out of where you are? And for me, it was my why. It was to be in service of people, to see people feel at peace, to be in tune with their selves, to just feel like they're living life differently from yesterday, because every day we evolve, every second. Like probably 30 minutes ago, I don't even feel the same like this and this moment speaking to you about this journey. And I feel so excited to share it to everyone, because the passion inside me in the beginning has never faltered. It just sparked even more because I saw so much change, evolution, and transformation from my clients. So really bringing into that two things: is it fear or is it love? And when you move with love, gosh, it just breeds in tolerance, and then you tap into your authentic core, then that also magnetizes itself on how you move through life.
That magnetizing self, another golden nugget. If you're listening today, my God, you just now know how to navigate. So I can't wait to see what Shelby's going to bring on.
Oh, this has been so beautiful. And there is a piece and part of each of these women's stories that resonates so deeply with my journey through self-doubt. And I just want to say that I've experienced it so many times. And there were so many times that I allowed that self-doubt to win, and I didn't trust my intuition, right? I didn't allow that to lead my choices, and I allowed what I call self-doubt, the little gremlin in my mind, to come in and make me believe things that weren't at all true. When I really started tapping into understanding my own self-doubt, I went into, kind of like Tilly said, parts work. This is something that I do with my clients, and it really helped transform me. It was going inward and connecting to where that self-doubt resided, what part of my body. And when I connected to that part, I went even deeper to ask self-doubt to step forward and to show itself to me. And as I asked self-doubt to show itself to me, I saw myself as a little girl, this little girl that grew up in a home that you couldn't speak your emotions. Your emotions weren't to be shared, right? You were just told what to do, and that's what you needed to do, and you needed to honor that. And it didn't matter what your thoughts or beliefs were. it was whatever you were told. I grew up in a very cult-like religion as well, with the same strict guidelines where we give you these steps. This is the way that you be and do so that you can have everlasting life. And if you don't, well, then you're ostracized, right? Like you're forgotten about, you're not a part of us. And when I saw that little girl, I understood where every ounce of this self-doubt spouted from. And I had to take time to love on her and heal her and tell her that, hey, we're not 7 years old anymore. And it's okay for you to go on and have fun, right? I asked this little girl, what would you want to be doing? Like she wanted to go and have fun and be loud and laugh and do all the things that she wasn't able to do as a child because you were to be seen but not heard. And she wanted to just live so loudly. And so giving her that opportunity to leave my body and no longer reside in this part of me, because what she was really doing was keeping me safe. And as she was there in that part of me, keeping me safe, she was holding me locked into this program, right? She was holding me locked into this program of doubting myself whenever anything got uncomfortable, right? She was holding me and like, no, we can't do that. We can't believe that in ourselves because that's scary and we don't know what's on the other side of this. Like, what if something that we've never experienced happened before? No, 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 no. We have to stay here. We can't be seen. We can't be heard. And so when I gave her that peace and that part to just let her leave my body and go run free and live her life, and like watching her just run away so full of joy and happiness to go play and laugh and be loud and be a child, my entire body felt such a weight released from it. There was such a weight. And from that, I was then able to really start working on this new self-confidence and instill this new self-belief within me that, you know what? I get to choose who I want to be and the life that I want to live. And who is to say that this wild idea that I have isn't going to work? Like, who is to say that? And so anytime any that little even niggle starts to come in where it's trying to scratch and be like, hey, remember this part? I'm like, like we're not there anymore. We don't live in that existence anymore. Like I can do this, right? And then I just really stand firm in my beliefs and my I am statements to then boost my confidence and get me into a state of like the only one that thinks this is crazy right now is this smaller part of me that's never done it before. And I just honor that and I go for it and I go balls to the wall and I have no idea what's going to happen, but I just I just trust and I believe. And it's the most beautiful thing to surrender. That's really what it comes down to. I surrender and I just let it be.
Yeah, surrendering is a huge part of having a soul-led business. And if I can just recap the golden nuggets here, there was a lot in this little section, but breathe, honor, love, and you get to choose. You get to choose. It all comes from us. Yeah. And we're going to go into the next question. And we're going to keep on going with you, Shelby. So finding clarity and purpose is crucial in the early years of a soul-led business. What tools or insights were most helpful for you in maintaining a clear vision for your business?
Yeah, it always comes back to the why. And any single time that I feel myself detouring and like not honoring that purpose or feeling really confused or fuzzy on what I'm doing, or even if like I'm scrolling too much and then my messaging of what I do gets really wonky and I'm like, wait, what's going on? Who is this? What's happening right here? Why am I doing this in the first place? And there's a process that I still to this day take myself through constantly. And it's just this why ladder of like, I ask myself, why? Why do I want this? And when I get an answer as to why, it could be like, well, I want my own business because I want freedom. I just ask myself why again. Why do I want that freedom? And then I just allow myself to keep asking myself why until I feel so much emotion coming through my body that like it brings out, sometimes it brings out tears, sometimes it brings out laughter, sometimes it just brings out like this fire of desire where I'm just like red hot, ready to go. But I let it bring up an emotion within me because that's how deep my why is as to why I do this, why I honored this purpose. And it's what keeps me clear, because the more that I allow myself to tap into that deeper reason so that like I can provide a life for my children where they get to live so joyfully and express themselves so beautifully. And I don't have to hinder them from having experiences because there's not enough money in the bank. And like that to me always brings up so much emotion because I again remember that little girl who experienced so much of the word no. And I just want to give my children something more. And like that's just what I come back to. And that's how I keep my business going.
That's beautiful. Thank you. The 7 layers deep to bring an emotion is a really, really powerful technique. I love it. Tilly, how about you?
So for me, at least, and I think this might apply to a lot of people at the beginning, when you start a new business, you've got so much coming at you and you've got all these ideas and I found that I would start off on one track and then I was like, oh, but maybe I should do it this way, or maybe I should be a group coaching session, or maybe I should do, there was all these that I would start to become overwhelmed and sort of spiral and become unproductive. So I think a big thing for me when starting out my business was really grounding and coming back into who I was, just like Shelby said, finding out, going back to why you're doing this, and then keeping it simple, really staying with the basics, keeping it very simple. Don't throw, and you can add things on later, like you can always expand, and don't get stuck in the, oh, I need to include all this information. We always tend to, when you have learned and you have a lot to teach, you don't realize how much that will overwhelm people that you're working with. So really just keep it super small and small things. And, I used to do master classes and I'd have a list of 6 things that I would cover in a master class. And when I got a coach, a business coach, he taught me to pick one thing that I was saying way too much. I was giving out way too much information. So pick one thing. So the best thing that I did for my business was keep it simple, simplify everything, pick one thing, do that well, and then just your intuition, the flow will take you onto what needs to be done next. So I think that's important.
Bite size.
Yes.
I have struggled with learning that. I'm very happy to hear you say it because it's not something we talk about enough. Thank you. How about you, Khrey?
I had the same experience with Shelby. In the beginning, I really had to root myself with my whys. And the first thing that I actually tried in the beginning was, what is that something that I'm really good at in this time that I'm so interested in to work on, that I want to master one thing? And that in itself, like I just put input 80-20, where I call it like 80%, like result and 20% input, meaning, if you really love or really excited in doing that one thing, and input that 20% quality attention to something that you love and passionate about, I believe you'll birth so many things that would stem out of it. It could be different ideas moving on as you expand. And as you master that along, it creates this deep sense of clarity that you trust yourself, that you're ready for the next or upgrade or next level or next phase of your business. Because I started as just a Reiki practitioner in the beginning, and I loved it so much. And I felt like, what if I could add on more training to actually help someone to to detangle their mind. And I went on to certification of life coaching to have formal training to how can I ask really good question that would invoke someone's mind in a 3D level. So as I see that, it birthed so many excitement for me. And I'm a generator in human design, and my profile is 1-3. And by design, I love experimenting things in my own experience, and I love learning new things. So I love to see it and see how it works. So I intersected like science, and in nursing school, we approach things holistically. Nothing is left behind as you approach things. So I'm like, I want more. I feel like I could help more someone. So really focus on that one thing in the beginning that you really love and so excited and passionate about, and let it flow through you as you stem out of it. It's basically your seed that you're planting in the beginning. And really check in with your North Star. What really pulls you intuitively to the next thing that would add on to that genius, that brilliant idea that you have in your business? Because you are the source of everything, and you feel authentic as you move through the next phase of your business. That helps a lot. And as I look back, I get emotional because the vision that I had in the beginning is birthing, it's materializing because I trusted in that one thing, which is energy. And now it has just like, it's just a circumference of everything. It's the map of everything, the mind, body, and soul and spirit. So it's all interconnected in one. And having to have that, you'll get to sustain and maintain the integrity of your business because you really put in the work on really enhancing that one skill.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the seed, that North Star that you're talking about, is also going to be your magnet that is going to bring back to you what you need. So make sure that you water it well, and that you care for that seed.
Yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Urvi?
Yeah, so I agree with everyone. I think understanding what your why is, and I want to say it this way, understanding what your sole purpose why is, right? Because I think when you first start off in a business, especially if you're going from corporate to business, it's like you're like kind of blocked from getting to soul level because your ego is still very prominent and it's trying to explain like, well, if you're going to leave your corporate job, you're going to have to make money. And so how are you going to make money consistently? And how is this going to be sustainable? And so for me, it was very much of like, what is my soul purpose? Like, why did my soul come on earth this lifetime? And what is it that I want to leave? Like, what is my legacy? From my soul. And getting back to that and writing that out. And for me, I kind of read it every time that self-doubt comes up, or every time I feel like this isn't working, I need to quit. I'll go back and I'll read my why statement. But at the same time, something that Khrey said about the human design, I think that's really important. Like, you need to know who you are and how you operate. Because when you first start off a business, and Dominique, you said this as well, like, if you have a business mentor or somebody that's trying to help you grow your business, you might be doing things that are just not your authentic voice or your authentic techniques. And it's like very frustrating. And I know I went through this for many years because I was just hiring coaches and business coaches. I was just doing things because I wanted to grow my business, but none of them aligned to me because it was soul crushing. I wasn't listening to my soul. I was just doing things operating from that like 3D corporate world, right? Like, I need to make money, so I have to do these things, and this is how successful coaches do this. And so understanding, one, that it doesn't have to be that way, how you do it, what your authentic voice is, and then what your why is. I think those three things mixed together is very important, and just grounding yourself, like Tilly said, in that. A really important lesson that I learned as I was going through my journey was, you're not for everyone, but your people will find you. And I think when you first start off as a business or a business owner or entrepreneur, you're trying to attract everyone because you have that scarcity mindset of like, I need to get everyone, because if I like have a big net, then I'm getting people to actually sustain my business. And you're not really speaking to anybody because you're not being authentic. And it's actually the opposite when you actually peel back and you actually start to become very authentic and target the people that are for you, that abundance comes to you. And so I think if I was to leave one message to anybody that's starting a business, it's find out who you are and know that your people will come to you and you will be successful. You don't have to be like everybody else. You just have to be you.
There's a lot of noise online, you know, like all the coaches that say, and I'm not condemning anyone. Everybody can have their message, but there's a lot of messages that they make like $10,000 a month in 3 weeks and something like that, right? When you're starting out, you're like, this is really enticing. But if you have no idea who you are, what you stand for, what your purpose is, what your why is, what your values are, even if you make $10,000, it's not going to stay. It's just going to go away because you're not going to be able to sustain it. I in the membership, the Soulpreneur Collective, the first thing we do with everybody is have a human design reading. And every month we have a human design practitioner that comes and goes really, really deep into your human design, because there is no cookie cutter, right? So if you're listening today for this part, we've understood that it comes from yourself. It is your why, and small bites, small steps. Do what you really, really love. And now I'm going to stay with you, Urvi, and we're going to go into questions for everybody. So Urvi, how has your spiritual transformation influenced your approach to coaching and healing for women in their motherhood journey?
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying this. I didn't start off with coaching and healing for women on their motherhood journey. This was something that came about with my transformation. So I talked a little bit about how I was going on my fertility journey when I started my business. And for me, similar to Tilly as she was speaking, I was using tools that was helpful for me, because going on a very long journey of trying to get pregnant and nothing working was creating a lot of anxiety for me, which was actually creating it was like not productive for actually becoming pregnant, because I was stressed all the time. I was anxious. I wanted to happen, but it wasn't happening. And so I started to look into what are some other techniques outside of the Western medicine that could actually help me. So I started to look at like somatic healing. I started to look at EFT tapping, womb healing, energy healing for the womb, meditations that were very much focused on like clearing space from our womb and like, you know, dealing with emotions that are deep down. And so as I started to do this, I went through my own spiritual transformation. I started to expand in different ways. And through that, I kept hearing from spirit, like, well, you got these gifts that you're not sharing in your business. So maybe it's time for you to start sharing them. And I would like, you know, have these conversations of like, no, like, we're not going to go there. We're still just going to talk about being like a certified life coach and like helping women with like stress and anxiety. And I was okay with meditation and teaching meditation, because I felt like it was kind of mainstream, like it wasn't so woo-woo. But I definitely wasn't going to tell people that I could do like subconscious readings or psychic readings, or, you know, I could tell things that are happening to you, because I just felt like people would be like, no, like, we don't want to work with you. So as I was going through my own journey and learning my own power of trusting my intuition and really getting connected with like my divine feminine, I started to blossom in my spiritual transformation. And that started to bring me into, you really need to, like, this is your gift. And your gift is actually meant for those women that are going on this journey of motherhood. Along with that, I had to, because I was going through infertility, and then I went through fertility treatments like IVF, and then I got pregnant, and then postpartum, I felt like I was constantly looking for care and for resources, but I was constantly like, it was like from one person to another practitioner to another thing. And I really wanted to create a practice that was across the board, resources that are across the board, right? Like from infertility all the way to postpartum, because it's all connected, it's all interconnected. And as you're blossoming through each phase, there's parts of you that are healing. And for me, when I was going from one practitioner to another, I would have to like share my story again. And then like I felt like I was starting over again. And so um, now that I work in this space, when I work with a woman, no matter where they are in their journey, it's always about me letting them know that this is like a lifelong journey. This isn't just about you, whatever phase you are. These are techniques that you can use throughout your entire life. And motherhood, once you're a mom, you're going to experience things throughout. It's like its own journey of expansiveness and, humbling at the same time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Teaching things that they can learn to heal themselves and not, you're holding their hand, but at one point they're walking on their own and they can use your techniques. It's beautiful. Khrey, we're going to go to you now. What methods do you use to help entrepreneurs align and ground their energy, and how do these methods impact their business success?
Thank you for that question. So like I mentioned earlier, I use multiple holistic modalities and also trance modalities, and I intersect science and spirituality together in one. So I practice the law of oneness. And one of the things on how I approach clients' ways of being is taking to the approach practical ways of the AAA method. So one is like, are they fully self-aware of where they are in their journey? Are they fully open to what they are being in this moment? Another A is, are they acknowledging, or are they fully in tune with their emotions? And then the third one is acceptance. Do they fully accept their own shortcomings or their own inner wounds, their traumas that they have repressed, or parts of them that they're going through? And I have these three core pillars in coaching, which is connection, compassion, and courage. Connection is where I approach every client in approaching to their mind. Are they fully connected to their mind? Where are they tuning in from in terms of energy? Are they tuning in to the frequency of their ego, or are they tuning in to their frequency of love or their highest self? And in connection to their emotion, are they fully aware to every emotion that they're feeling in this moment? And according to Brene Brown's research on connection, the average human being can only identify 3 emotions, which is anger, sadness, and joy. However, there's a wide range of emotions. And I teach client and guide clients to really get in tune with their emotions, just like a radio station that you're tuning in when you're listening to different kinds of music. And accepting that emotion is just a frequency that they hosted, that they tune into daily, that they can choose things differently, and it's okay to welcome it. And another is connection to their body. How fully are they aware of their attunement to when they're feeling sad? Where is that coming from in their body? What does that tension means for you? Because our language, the body's language, is our emotions. So if you're fully in tune to your body's pain, are you avoiding them? What are your unconscious ways of actually avoiding to feel? What are your unconscious way of actually trying to numb or to soothe yourself, or a coping mechanism that you only know how? And another coaching pillar, which is courage, that I work with client because we welcome vulnerability. It's the process of fostering bravery. Vulnerability creates belongingness for each client. And with that, as they harness vulnerability, they become courageous enough to welcome every part of their being. And thereby, I work through limited beliefs, that comes up for them. Some people don't even fully accept that they have fear of being judged. In the beginning, I wasn't even aware of, I'm afraid of being abandoned. Or in the beginning, I was afraid of being alone. So until you fully accept something and become fully courageous enough to see it as is, but not as who you are, you courageously open the portal of change. So that's where all of the different modalities, different processes and methods that we can connect with. The last one is compassion. I believe it's the most underrated frequency and practice that every being can tap in, because in self-compassion or compassion inquiry, right? Inquiring, what does this mean for you in a non-judgmental way? You foster inspired action because you don't come from a place of rooting you, identifying you, but more of you become curious. You become curious to, where are you in your journey? What is happening with you right now? Let me nourish you. Let me love you. Hold on. Like, let me just show you unconditionally that we are here together. We're in this life together. So through compassion, you foster that space of expansive welcome and acceptance, radical acceptance, to foster inspired action that moves client to really take on to that baby step, like you said earlier, like the baby step to the compound effect of change, the compound effect of ripple effect of change that would lead you towards to unlayering, right? Peeling off those inauthentic parts of you until you fully ground yourself to that authentic core that's available inside us. And then you just magnetize naturally all the desires that you've been, unconsciously wanting or desiring. And so that's where we bring in all of the modalities, processes, and the parts work. I do that too. We even do a lot of like soul retrieval or soul healing, like past life regression. It just goes hand in hand. And you come to this quantum field of consciousness that, wow, I can actually change my life and I can consistently keep on track and fully just be me. And by being me, I can magnetize everything that I want. It doesn't have to be the same exact thing as everyone else, but I am uniquely as I am, and I'm going to move through life and be of value to people because I am uniquely me. And your energy that you have been harnessing that in that sense, it's a gift. It's a gift that I always see my clients would feel. And some of their family or friends that do this work with me, they would even say, I feel your energy just by being beside you. I feel calm. And that itself is like a manifestation of the frequency that they have been shape shifting. So I want to simplify that because I could go on to different methods, but that's just how I help clients in grounding them. And, like most of us are overthinkers, like me as a Virgo. Like I used to overthink a lot. And the ways to ground it is to really to feel the body, to really, okay, maybe I could just go for a walk and bring them to the simple, like Tilly said, simplicity. I bring into the simplicity of feeling. Maybe go for a walk and barefoot on the grass and feel the sunlight, smell the flower beside you. So bringing in that grounding, that simplicity, there's a lot of complexity in life, but we bring into the narrowedness and allowing yourself to feel. There's a lot to really uncover and rediscover that we haven't fully seen yet. So yeah.
That's amazing. Now I want to go through the alphabet of triple A and triple C. We're going to go to Tilly now. How has your work as a mental health advocate shaped your approach to coaching and keynote speaking?
So when I first started this journey as a coach, we used to refer to mental health as an illness. So it was always referred to a mental health illness. So it was something somebody had that was detrimental and that needed to be fixed or changed. And then there's more and more awareness started to come about, but that one of the good things, the great things about the pandemic, about COVID, was that it did bring to light a lot about mental health illness, and we managed to shift it to mental health wellness. So when you look at it as somebody that's having a mental health issue, it's not a negative, it's not an illness. It's it's an opportunity for you to work on your mental health wellness and what that path looks like for you. I honestly do not think there is a human on this earth that does not experience some kind of mental health I'm not going to say the word issue, but wellness that has in their lives through the process. It's part of being human that you're going to experience something along the mental health path. I see it in my daughter. I see it in her friends. I see it in myself. I see it in everybody. And taking away the stigma of mental health has been such a large part of what I believe and what I've done in my career. Because I came from a corporate background, we never were taught or given the opportunity to even talk about having mental health issues. It was sort of like not looked down on, but frowned upon in some ways because people did not understand it properly. So I have been an advocate in education around mental health, and that it is just a normal process of being human, where you're going to have times in your life where you will have anxiety, where you will be stressed, where you may be depressed. It is just a natural part of being human. So I have put a lot of advocacy around changing the stigma around mental health or mental illness, as it used to be. And now it's so funny when I never thought in a million years that I would be able to do that I actually go into corporations and talk to them about the mental health within their environments and how to overcome it and how not to look at it as something negative or bad, but rather to accept it as something that's very natural in our path as humans. So it's been a journey, and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of people are now looking at mental wellness as something that's just part of our lives. And a lot of corporations and companies are now incorporating help around mental health as their benefits, some of their benefits. So it's been exhilarating for me to see that and watch that growth. And I'm really privileged to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful that you can go into corporation and talk about that and create that awareness, that acceptance. Yeah, I love it. Thank you for doing this. Shelby, what inspired you to create the soul alignment activation method, and how does it help entrepreneurs achieve soul aligned authenticity in their work?
Yeah, and I think this is just like everybody else. This came from a place of my own personal journey. And it really took hold in 2019. I experienced the loss of my husband while I was 6 months pregnant. And it took me down a very deep, deep healing journey. And it was just like I had said in the beginning, life happens. And it's like we have a choice of if we're going to let this thing that occurred draw us back and take us away from the greatest thing that we have been working towards, or if we're going to let it be a part of our story moving us forward. And that's what I chose to do during that loss, is that I chose to find the light in the situation rather than looking at it as dark, even though it was. And I had many days where I just was hiding under the covers and crying and questioning, why did this happen to me? And where did things go wrong and everything else. But truly what it inspired was this bigger revolution into me being able to support women in a really, really strong container. And so as I was continuing to work with people and then going on my grief journey and just healing, and then having my daughter, and that being a whole new thing, because life wasn't pictured as I thought it was anymore, right? It wasn't this, oh, I'm having this baby and we love each other and we're raising her together. No, it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I was going to be a single mom, and at the height of my business growing and all this momentum happening, and now I'm healing, da, 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 da. But it really allowed me to understand the depths of what we experience, and so often that we experience behind closed doors, because we don't want people to see the hardness that we're going through, and we have to feel like we have to put on a brave face. And so it helped me create this modality, soul alignment activation, where I learned how to bring the mind, the body, and the soul into business, because we work on each of these pillars, right? We work on the mind, where I am helping these women that come into my space through hypnosis and NLP, and we're clearing these limiting beliefs, and we're releasing the things that no longer serve us, and we're literally rewiring our mind for the life that we desire to have and all of the dreams that have been placed within us. And we move then into the body. And this is where the somatic practices really come into place, where we are just letting it all go. We're feeling all the things and like honoring those feelings, and then giving them the opportunity to leave through chakra healing and sound healing and Reiki and all of those practices that just help the energy just move through and out. And then moving into the soul, really helping these women connect to their higher self, their deepest desire, trusting their intuition so that their business then has a really solid foundation to rest upon, so that when the things happen that happen naturally to all of us in business, right? When that little pesky thing comes in and tries to get us to doubt ourselves, or those limiting beliefs try to anchor in and make us believe that we can't have everything that we want to have, there is such a strong foundation of self that we're like, you know what? My business is going to go to all the places that I dream of it going, and it's going to go beyond that, bigger than I ever imagined. And it's because we lock in such a state of confidence in these women that it's like the biggest things that might come in and rock you, but guess what? You're still standing, and it's gonna be okay. And it's so beautiful to guide women through, because it is everything that I had to walk myself through in the hardest part of my life.
When I was doing the outline for this panel, I was reading what you guys were doing, and I was like, well, Khrey and Shelby are kind of the same chrono, and Tilly and Urvi are in the same chrono, but all of them, all of you guys are all about how you're feeling your chrono. And I just love it. And I want to go back into some things that you guys said. And I really feel privileged to be here today, because listening to you guys lights me up. But there are some things that you're giving the audience permission to be. And Shelby, you said that you allowed yourself to tap into self. And so if you're listening today, the first step is to allow yourself to tap into self and to flow within self and to pour into self. And then Urvi, you said that trusting your intuition helped you connect with yourself, but with the universe. So if you're listening today, do that. You already have two amazing, amazing golden nuggets for your business. And then Tilly, you talked about when you are going through something, whatever it is, honor it, recognize it, because it's just a part of who you are, but it is not who you are. And then when you honor whatever it is you're going through, it's just going to go away. So it's beautiful, beautiful. I love it. How easy is that? And Khrey, you create from fear or from love, and that North Star is within the love. So really, in those 4 golden nuggets, to me, you just got how to create your soul-led business or how to grow your soul-led business. And I want to thank the 4 of you for taking the time to come here and to share all of that with everybody. And now I would like you also to share something else. I would like you to share what is going on in your world. Is there a program that you have on? How do you want us to connect with you? You have the handles in the corner here, but what do you want us to do? Give us that CTA. And we're going to start with Urvi.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dominique, I wanted to thank you for allowing us to share the space and connecting all of us together. This was beautiful, and I've learned so much from the other 3 beautiful women here. And so, but yes, in terms of what I'm offering, so I'm doing a lot more in-person events and in-person workshops. And so right now, if you're in the New Jersey area, I'm doing in-person moon circles every month. And I'm going to kickstart a group coaching program in the fall. It's called Serenity's Mamas Group. So that group coaching program is all about going through the different things that I talked about, like in terms of mindfulness, learning what mindfulness is, learning those techniques, learning about who you are, tapping into your intuition, trusting your mom intuition, but then also working and navigating through all of the different things that happen from a mindset perspective in terms of letting go of those, what I call as energy centers, those depleting energy centers that we need to fill back up. And so things like, how do we work with mom guilt? How do we work with going through anxiety, or the different phases of motherhood, and allowing ourselves to trust in our own.
So those are the two programs. And then I have a ongoing evergreen program, which is called Mindfulness for Mamas. It's a self-guided course, which taps into all of the different things in terms of mindfulness. It goes through the different phases of motherhood in terms of TTC, pregnancy, and postpartum. And so it helps you through each one, and like kind of gives you journal prompts and things like that. So you can work through your emotions and kind of balance through all of it.
Beautiful. Thank you. And we're going to put all the handles and the links in the show notes for those who want to link. Tilly, how about you? What is going on in your world?
Hi. Well, I do a lot of speaking engagements. I really find, like, as soon as I put that out to the universe, they started to come to me. So that's part of the natural flow. I also do group work, group consulting. I have a new course starting in the fall. And I find a lot of my best results in working with clients is on a one-on-one basis. And right now I have a few slots that are open for one-on-one work. If anyone is looking for that very close interaction and personalization. And it would be, we customize those one-on-one sessions according to what it is that you're looking for. So I do the group work, this talking, and I'm open to accepting a few new one-on-one clients now at this very moment. So thank you for this opportunity, Dominique. It's been really great to sit here, and I'm so honored to be amongst the other talkers here, the other speakers, because they're amazing, all of them.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And if you want to connect with Tilly, you have in the corner her handles, and we're going to put them also in the show notes. How about you, Khrey? What is going on in your world?
First of all, I just want to say thank you, Dominic, for bringing us all together here. This container is just soulfully enriching for me, and it makes me even more inspired and keep going, seeing everyone is doing their own work. We all have similar vision, similar mission, but I feel like everybody has their own unique sauce, if I would put it that way, energetic frequency that they create or co-create with their community and clients. So for anyone who wanted to work with me, I do one-on-one coaching. I'm opening it back again on August, and my roster is opening back again for 3 slots right now. And I usually do 12 weeks, 6 months, or 1 year. So if you wanted to work with me, I'm very open to having a connection call with anybody. That's just 30 minutes call that we can connect and just really map through where you are in your journey. It's very personalized. And also I am launching my Core Essence program. This is coming up on my birthday, which is on September. I intentionally, because it's a birth of 2 years research and work. So I'm really excited to put that out on September. It's something that I have mentioned earlier. It's all about helping people to really tap in and heal through the 7 energy centers in different ways and layers of their being to fully tap into their inner core, inner power, and authenticity. So that's coming up on September. Now for in-person, I do in-person workshops. So whoever is from the Bay, I'm based in San Francisco, California. I do this energy in motion workshop where mindfulness meets movement. So I help people to tap into play, inner child healing, tap into their divine soul essence through energetic healing and movement. So we incorporate yoga, dance, heals is optional. So this is really moving through your energetic frequency and releasing emotional blocks. through incorporating yoga, sound bath, Reiki, and really practicing connecting to your higher self. And I do that here in San Francisco. And the one that is coming up that I'm really excited about is a retreat in Mount Shasta, California. So Mount Shasta is the root chakra of the earth. So I'm really excited to bring it. I have like 2 slots left. One that is open for queen size bedroom if you wanted to just have your own space. And I still believe I can still open 2 more slots in the shared bedroom. So if you're interested with like-minded souls, just like here, you know, with high vibrational frequency, we're going to tap into that, connect with the nature, reset your nervous system. And I'm bringing in different practitioners as well to help us and guide us to really release, connect, and celebrate our connection with our beings. So that is on August 24 and 25. And application is available on the link in my bio, or yeah, which is right here. So yes, so thank you so much.
The link in the
really,
corner.
yes, really thankful to be here. I love being in the same space of powerful women with powerful vision, powerful mission. I love it. It just sparks so much joy inside me. So thank you, Dominic. This is really great.
Well, thank you for coming. It lights my heart. I'm really happy. And every time I say your name, Shelby, I just see like lights and it says the Shelby St. Clair. So how about you? What is going on in your world?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for all of this. It has been so nice. So you can come join me on Instagram at the Shelby St. Clair. I share all things over there, the good, the bad, the ugly. Nothing is off limits, because I truly believe that the more that I let people into just how my days run, and that it's not always beautiful and every day isn't as, you know, easy as I would love for it to be, that it really just drops us into a space of permission to just live and be. So that is a great place to connect with me. I love to chat. So definitely send me a message if you are feeling called. If you've resonated with anything or just want to connect. I also have a free mini course. It's a 7-day mini course and it's called Boundless Breakthrough. And during these 7 days, I help you to really tap into the primary limiting beliefs that are currently getting in your way of claiming the success that you desire in your life. And this mini course has been transformational for so many that have gone through it, because there's so many aspects and parts and beliefs that you don't recognize are playing so full out in your life and your business. And so this really helps you to see that and to help you walk through the process of shifting that belief into something that is then really powerful to help you move forward and progress to where you want to go. I am also relaunching my signature program. It is called Total Ascension Business Builder. I have been running this program since I launched my business, and it is my signature offer, and I am revamping it, revolutionizing it, bringing so much more deeper impact, because the world is so different today than it was when I started this program in 2018. I am bringing so many aspects into today's world of how to grow your business, have the solid foundation, bringing that soul alignment activation method into it so that you have the pillars of working on self and connecting with self and moving from this place of confusion in your business to clarity, and moving from this state of disbelief to full belief, and just having a really confident footing and grounding for you to build atop so that you can make 3K, 5K, 10K, 30K in your business with ease. And the process that I take you through in this program is so beautiful, because you can go through it time and time again so that you can keep on scaling your business and going to the next step and getting to the next place that you desire to be in your life. So it is really beautiful. It's so amazing. And I am running it live for the first time in, I think, 3 years. And so we launch in August. So if you want to join, definitely send me a message on Instagram. I would love to give you all of the info and claim your space inside of there.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And again, we will have in the show notes all the links, and in the corner, that corner, we have all the handles for everybody. If anybody Yeah, right. And we're like, which one is it? So if you resonate with anyone, just note the link and link with them, because every panelist is really eager to talk to you. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen and listen to this again and again and again, because there was so many actionable steps in this episode. You could start your business with just these steps and then find the people that you want to journey with, because finding the right people to journey with is so important. You're not meant to do this alone. We are meant to do this with other people. We're meant to grow with other people. We're meant to help each other grow and rise the vibration of the earth. And this is why we're doing these soulful conversations, so that we know that we're not alone and that there are other people out there to help us. So link with the panelists. Everybody's happy. And for the four of you, thank you so much for taking this time with me tonight.